Just a week before, the U.S. Used their veto in the UN Security Council to stop a very mild resolution, even on settlements in the West Bank, and yet would bring a resolution for this supposed humanitarian intervention in Libya. And really to take up this point of maybe humanitarian wars and our amnesia of past wars, which I think you've seen the impact of too many.
Well, the meaning of Gaza today that's most tragic is the division of Palestine. I represented the PLO for 30 years, and Arafat had one principle that stood out above all others, and it was that every Palestinian man, woman, and child is a member of the PLO, whether they want to be or not. That we are one people, united, as Nawa was saying in her statements earlier this evening here. And now, for the first time, they're divided. And having been divided, it's seen that it's easy to attack Gaza. There are no medicines in the hospitals. It's at least as bad as Iraq under the sanctions. We remember the sanctions were genocidal. They killed hundreds of thousands of people, more than half of them children under the age of 5. And Mubarak was barring the Egyptian border to Gaza, and Israel had the rest of the border. They were trapped in there and shot up once in a while, assassinated once in a while. They've been beat up pretty badly just lately, and trying to create the appearance on the West Bank while the settlements increase of prosperity through a prime minister who was part of the World Bank. We like these World Bank people. If you go to Cote d'Ivoire, you'll realize that the person who was, the international community claims was elected president there in the civil war that's now raging down there and killing a lot of people, but you don't read about it or hear about it. And you can be darn sure the U.S. won't send troops there. As a member of the, he worked for the World Bank for years. And it brings money with it sometimes, but that's about all it brings, because they're not a part of the community. They've been gone for a long time. They've had other interests, international interests, and it's a bad sign. It's also true that Hamas is the dominant party, and it's a Muslim party, fairly. Not that Fatah is not overwhelmingly Muslim as the West Bank, but it's divide and conquer. Gaza has a great history, a long history. It was the first stop from Cairo to the rest of the world, over land, to Constantinople and to the Silk Road and China. And it had, that's where Alexander the Great got stopped badly and wounded trying to conquer it, and succeeded before he pressed on to Iraq, as we now call it, and died there. And the efforts of Europe in a long time past to dominate the world. Gaza needs the support. It needs pressure to, as does Fatah, to have unity among Palestinian people, because without that unity there's no hope for the future of Palestine, and that will create a rage that will last for a long, long time and permeate at least the adjacent and probably nearly all of the Arab world and a good part of the Muslim world, because it appears to be, from the West, a holy war, Christian and Jewish, against Islam. And right now, the plight of Gaza is desperate and its isolation broken because the border is open now, but still very, very difficult to negotiate.